History is filled with tales of brave warriors who lived and fought for their empires, clans, and lords. In this exploration, we dive into the daily lives of three iconic military figures: the disciplined Roman legionary, the fearless Viking warrior, and the honorable Japanese samurai. Each of these soldiers lived by a unique set of rules and routines that defined their roles in history. The life of a Roman legionary was defined by discipline, structure, and relentless training. These soldiers formed the backbone of the Roman Empire's military might, enabling it to expand across vast territories. At the break of dawn, the Roman legionary would rise from his tent, which he shared with 7 other soldiers. The first task of the day involved dismantling the camp if they were on the move. Tents were packed, and the surrounding fortifications, such as trenches and wooden palisades, were cleared. Breakfast was a simple affair, often consisting of porridge, bread, and occasionally some dried fruit. Next came weapon maintenance. The legionary carefully inspected his gladius, short sword, pilum, javelin, and scutum, shield. Any damage had to be repaired immediately to ensure readiness for battle. The Roman army valued physical fitness and combat readiness above all else. Soldiers underwent rigorous training exercises, including marching up to 20 to 25 kilometers a day in full armor. They practiced formation drills such as the famous testudo, tortoise formation, and engaged in combat training with wooden swords heavier than their real weapons to build strength. When not training, legionaries performed various tasks such as building roads, constructing forts, and gathering supplies. Their role went beyond combat, as they were essential to the infrastructure of the Roman Empire. After a long day of work or marching, legionaries set up camp. Each soldier had specific duties, from digging defensive trenches to assembling barricades. Dinner was a hearty meal of grains, legumes, and sometimes salted meat. Evenings were a time for relaxation or social activities. Soldiers played dice games, wrote letters, or simply rested. However, the day didn't end for everyone. Some soldiers took turns standing guard, ensuring the camp's safety through the night. Viking warriors were known for their fearlessness and ferocity in battle. However, their daily lives balanced the brutality of war with communal and domestic responsibilities. Vikings began their day early, with a meal of porridge or bread accompanied by fish or meat. Maintaining their weapons was a crucial part of their routine. Axes, swords, and spears were sharpened, and shields were repaired as needed. When not on a raid, Viking warriors were often farmers or craftsmen. They spent their days tending to crops, building ships, or practicing combat techniques. Training focused on hand-to-hand combat and the use of weapons like the longsword or Danish axe. Warriors also honed their skills in shield walls, a key tactic in Viking battles. For those preparing for a raid, time was spent readying ships, gathering provisions, and planning strategies. Viking warriors were skilled sailors, and much of their life revolved around their iconic longships. Evenings were often communal. Warriors gathered for meals, which were occasions for storytelling and feasting. Skalds, or poets, recited sagas of heroic deeds, inspiring the warriors for future battles. After the feast, they rested in longhouses or camps, ready to rise early and repeat the cycle. The samurai were elite warriors of Japan, guided by the code of Bushido, the way of the warrior. Their daily lives were a blend of martial discipline, intellectual pursuits, and service to their lord. Samurai began their day before sunrise with meditation, aligning their minds with the principles of Bushido. Breakfast was modest, often rice with pickled vegetables or fish. Afterward, they meticulously maintained their weapons, particularly their katana, long sword, and wakizashi, short sword. Training was a lifelong pursuit for samurai. They practiced kenjutsu, swordsmanship, kyudo, archery, and jujitsu, unarmed combat. Samurai also trained in horseback riding and the use of spears, yari. Beyond combat, samurai engaged in administrative tasks or acted as enforcers for their lords. They collected taxes, resolved disputes, and maintained order in their territories. Intellectual growth was equally important. Many samurai studied calligraphy, poetry, and philosophy. As the day wound down, samurai reflected on their actions and meditated to maintain inner balance. Evening meals were simple but nourishing. Samurai often spent time writing or studying, ensuring they were prepared for both physical and mental challenges. They slept lightly, always ready to defend their lord or family at a moment's notice. The lives of the Roman legionary, Viking warrior, and Japanese samurai were vastly different, shaped by their unique cultures and circumstances. Yet, they shared a common thread, a dedication to discipline, duty, and the mastery of their craft. By examining their routines, we gain insight into the worlds they inhabited and the values they upheld, offering us a deeper appreciation for their enduring legacies.